Hey everybody, Jeremy Jackson here again. We got a different video for you guys today. Um, Not so much on the court aspect, but something else that I've been kind of holding back from making public. But there's no point in holding back no more, since these other people don't really seem to care. Why should I? So we're gonna get into it. Gonna try to make it somewhat of a quick video, but very informational, uh, to the point. Um, so we're going to go back to September 11th of this year, 2025. My day started off by going to the Westmoreland County Courthouse for the commissioners meeting. It was actually the very first one I attended, where I spoke my grievances about what's going on at the family court division and child support and all that stuff. Um, but the day before, there's a guy named Mr. Carosa that is from North Huntingdon as well, and he has a situation going on with those guys with the police department over some other things that I had absolutely no part in. And he asked me, "Hey, can you give me a ride? I would like to go up there and speak at the county courthouse and commissioners meeting, and I need to stop at the North Huntingdon Police Department to get my fingerprints done from charges that he got uh, for his situation." So, sure, I'll take you up there, go do the thing. We did. We went to the courthouse. We did our thing there. Um, and on the way back, I stopped at the North Huntingdon Township Police Department to let him get his business done that he had there. So we get there. I walk in. I wasn't even going to go in, but I figured to just walk in, sit there, or whatever. In the lobby, the public lobby they have, you walk in there. You can't even see nobody behind the desk. They got a window there. They got it mirror tinted out. And then the other window, they got blinds there. So you can't see who you're talking to. Um, I don't know what all that's about. I get having things secure and everything, but turn your computer screen around. That's pretty much all you got to do. So anyhow, I'm there. They come back. The two officers, Bolden and I believe Lieutenant McCurdy, came back. Um, they're in behind the dispatcher's window. I heard them talking, and I'm standing there looking at documents on the wall, whatever they got posted there, just killing time. And I hear that other one with him. That's Mr. Jackson. That's Jeremy Jackson. So I'm like, okay, somebody knows who I am. I know a lot of the guys that work there. Uh, I've lived there. I grew up there most of my life, and some of the people I went to school with now work there, and just some of the guys that I've known from living there still work there. Um, but also I have friends that are no longer there, that are retired. They're done. Um, you know, I never had nothing against this township police department. No matter whatever they did, I didn't have nothing to say, good or bad. You know, at all. I never just had a problem with these guys up until this day. It was about noon, September 11th. Two officers came out to get Mr. Carosa to get his fingerprints done. Um, they told him he's not allowed to record in there because he records everything that he does, and they told him he's not allowed to record, and made him take his stuff off his camera. So he set it down. So I figured I'd sit there and wait so nobody takes his stuff. He goes back. I'm sitting there for a few minutes, and then I keep hearing, "Sir, sir, 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 sir." And I look around like there ain't nobody else here but me, and I can't see anybody behind the window. So I'm assuming somebody's talking to me. So I got up and said, "Is somebody talking to me?" And it was a female back there. It ended up being the dispatcher. I'm not going to put her name out there right now. There's no need for it. Um, so I walked up to the window and I said, "Yes, can I help you?" And she said, "I need your ID." And I said, "Mine?" I said, "For what?" And she said, "Because I asked for it and I need it." And I said, "Well, I'm not sure why you need my ID when I already heard McCurdy back here, the lieutenant that works up there, say, oh, the other one with them is Jeremy Jackson. So you already know who I am. So now you want to fuck with me and, drag me into this stuff that I had no parts of, but that's fine. You got me into it, so here we are. So, I didn't actually have my driver's license on me at the time. It was at home because I just ran a copy of it off or something. So I had my military ID in my wallet, and I said, I really don't want to give you my ID. I wasn't even talking to anybody. I'm sitting here on the chair. I said, but here you go. I said, I do this under duress. I don't really want to do this. I have no parts of nothing here. I am simply just a ride for somebody that asked me to bring them up there. So she goes, okay, I'm going to take your ID. I need to make a copy of it. And I'm like, what do you need to do that for? And she said, because um, I have to identify and know who's sitting in my waiting room. That was their excuse. Now I don't know if that was the dispatcher's excuse or if that was one of the officers standing back there's excuse. But we're gonna find out because I just filed an Act 22 to get all the video and audio recording stationary there, body cam footage, anything that records videos or audio. I'm gonna get it. We'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, sitting there minding my business, and I had to get forced to ID when there's absolutely no point to that. So we're going to get into constitutional violations. I'm going to try to make this quick. So first, under the Fourth Amendment, the police cannot detain or demand ID from a person unless they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed. The U.S. Supreme Court made that crystal clear in Terry v. Ohio, Brown versus Texas, and so on. I was doing nothing wrong, so any order to produce ID was an unconstitutional seizure. And I'm going to remind you guys again, I'm not one of these auditors. I'm not a constitutionalist. I'm not that guy. But now you made me that guy, so I'm going to go down that road with you. Second, under the First Amendment, I had the right to be in that public lobby, a public government space, mind you, to access records, file paperwork, or simply observe. The Supreme Court in City of Houston versus Hill ruled that citizens have every right to question or interact with the police without fear of retaliation. And we'll get back to retaliation in a minute. Demanding ID and copying my credentials while I was lawfully in a public building chilled my constitutional rights and my access and petition my government. Third, the Fifth Amendment protects against compelled self-incrimination. By forcing me to provide identifying information without cause, they violated that right. Finally, the 14th Amendment guarantees due process. The arbitrary enforcement forcing me to identify myself with no probable cause was a denial of liberty without due process under Colander versus Lawson. And these, when I say Colander versus Lawson and all these other, those are called case laws. And those have been to courts from other people that had fought against lawsuits and won, and that's the name of their court case because it pertains to these situations. Federal statutes violated. Under 42 U.S.C. subsection 1983, any official acting under the color of law who deprives a person of constitutional rights is civilly liable. Under 18 U.S.C. subsection 242, it's a federal crime for any public official to willfully violate someone's rights. And by photocopying my military ID card, they also broke 18 U.S.C. subsection 701, which clearly states that copying or photographing a U.S. military ID card is illegal, even for police. They're not allowed to do it. There's certain stipulations for that to be done, but that is not one of them. That is a very serious problem. The Department of Defense Instruction 1000.13 reinforces this. It's prohibited for civilian agencies like local police to copy or retain a military ID card for any reason not directly tied to authorized federal business. It's just black and white law, man. It's right there. You did. Pennsylvania state law violations. At the state level here, we're talking about they violated 18 Pennsylvania CS subsection 5301 official oppression, which makes it a crime for public servant to knowingly subject someone to unlawful detention or deny them their rights. They also violate 18 PA CS subsection 2902 unlawful restraint in Pennsylvania, 18 subsection 4912 misuse of authority by using their position to intimidate and compel compliance. Finally, they interfered with my right to access a public office under the Pennsylvania Right to Know Law, 65 PS subsection 67.101. So why does this matter? This isn't just about me, it's about accountability. And I know North Huntington Police Department has heard a lot about accountability lately, and I guess I got to add to it. You know, if they could do this to a combat disabled veteran sitting quietly in a public building, minding his business, then they can do it to anyone. Every citizen has the right to enter a public facility, speak freely, and not to be detained or questioned without cause. When officers overstep those boundaries, they violate the very Constitution they actually swore to protect and uphold. So yes, guys, this is like serious shit that's going on. We'll get more into the incident and some of the background here in a second. Like I said, I'm going to try to make this quick. So what am I doing about this? I'm going to give you guys some of the information of what I'm doing. I'm not going to give it all. There's no point. I would never show my whole hand when I'm sitting there playing cards. So, but I am actually, and I have filed multiple right to know requests for documents that I need, which establish that I was there, that I was contacted, and there's some other things going on too as well. I don't want to say it until the investigation is over with. I will be contacting the FBI Civil Rights Division for investigation under 18 U.S.C. subsection 242. And the Department of Defense Inspector General, since the illegal copying of my military ID is a federal violation. I'm also preserving all audio and video evidence through an Act 22 that I talked to you guys about, which guarantees the public's or my right to access police recordings from public areas, which that was at a police station public lobby. So to close this out, I will not tolerate unlawful conduct by those sworn to serve and protect the community. Just won't do it. This incident is a direct assault on my constitutional rights, and it should be a direct assault on yours too. Even though you didn't have it, it could have happened to you. And on every citizen's right to be secure, free, and treated with dignity in a public space, we must demand accountability and transparency from those who wear the badge, because the badge is supposed to represent justice, not intimidate. The badge is supposed to represent justice, not intimidate. I hope you heard that. So, with those important facts out there, some more background to the story is the young man that I took up there that day, this police department, to say the least, they are in a quarrel of sorts because they actually violated this guy's rights too. And he's not letting it go. So, again, I never had a problem with this police department up until, when this happened. And that doesn't mean I have a problem with everybody that works there. I have a problem with the people that are involved and the people who let this happen. The chief there, Chief Rizzo, I don't even know what to say to you. You could have done a lot better. But here we are. Again, they did this to me because of the person that I took up there to get fingerprinted. So they automatically assumed that I was taking sides of some sort. And also, I have heard that they are, making accusations about me. And, how do I know how to do what I'm doing? Well, I may lead on that I'm dumber than I look, but I'm really not that stupid of a guy, and I really don't need inside information to do what I'm doing. Uh, I actually was going to let this go and not bother, and this is probably going to cost them a lot of money, and it's going to cause a lot of problems for them that they probably didn't need, on top of some other situations they have going. But, you know, some people up there treat other folks with very awful disrespect that is unwarranted. I've had I've had some people up there. I'm not going to say some people. I'm going to say a couple people that didn't have a few nice things to say about me, that actually had no reason to say that. You know where I live. If you got something to say, call me up. 412-224-7637. I will gladly meet you if you have to say something to me or you want to talk. Um, I know that is not a threat to anybody. It is a simple man being a man, stating if you got a problem or you got to discuss something, there's my phone number. We can set up a meeting wherever you guys want at your leisure. But I will tell you right now, I am not going to put up with this. I am not going to let this slide. You shouldn't have done what you did. What you tried to do was overexert your authority onto me because of who I brought up there to that police station that day. And you guys don't know the backstory of it. You don't know nothing about my relationship or the lack thereof of that person or what my involvement is with anything. So you guys need to be very careful of what you're doing with me because you don't know me. You might think you do, but you don't know me. You don't know who I know. You don't know what I know. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And this department ought to be ashamed of itself. Really should. Now, I know there's good men that work up there and women. And again, this has nothing to do with any in particular person. But as a whole, this department should not be acting this way. And I think they are hurling a lot of false accusations at a lot of good men for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. But your own greed and your ignorance is going to come out and it's going to bite you in the ass. That's all there is to it. So I will do another video or two or three or four, or however many it takes, updating you guys about this situation that I'm now involved in, that I did not need to be involved in, but here we are. And most of you guys know me. I'm not going to sit here and lay down and take it. So, sucks it had to be this way. But I didn't do it. They did. Thank you guys for watching. Again, so you all know, my videos are 100% legit. I only give out 100% facts. There's no lies, no edits, nothing. I don't even edit my videos. This is it. So, straight to the point, straight to the facts. And this is all being done for my sons, for my children, because I love them and I love this country. I served for this country and I still do serve this country in a lot of different ways. And I will fight until I can't fight no more. And it's all for our future, for my sons, which I miss and love dearly. And one day soon, this will all blow over. And maybe I'll be posting videos of myself and my kids doing fun things together, not videos like this where I got to call out a police department for some stupid shit that they did and that they continue to do, and they do it to the wrong people. You know, they really picked two guys and a couple other people to piss with. You probably shouldn't have. So, hey, it is what it is. You guys are the police. Do your thing, and I'll do mine. Again, sorry it had to be this way. It is what it is. Take care, everybody.